Now, many of us have beef with Photoshop. Adobe have added very little extra functionality for a lot more money. Well, they've gone to a subscription format too, which many hate. Let's see what this software can do. Now, this is just the beta or the beta for your US folk. And to be honest, I've never touched it before, but there's not a lot online to show what it looks like, how it goes in the real world. So I'm just going to download it here. We're going to try a few files through it. I think I'm just going to use some Fuji X Series RAW files to see how those go. Just so we can get a look at the menu system. I think with software like this, it takes some time to get used to. Personally, I use CS6 RAW. I don't use certain things like Lightroom. I've tried numerous times because everybody in the professional world says how great it is, but I haven't got on with it yet. So let's see how Affinity Photo looks. Let's get it on, for want of a much better phrase. And we're probably going to fast forward this. So let's open it up. You probably spotted, instead of Spotlight or going into it, I use this app here, Alfred. Pretty cool. I just hit Alt space and that comes up, and I just type in whatever I want. If I wanted Photoshop, I could just go Alt space, and there you go. So let's open this up. Right, maximize. Thanks for downloading the Affinity Photo beta, whatever you want. Yeah, so samples, feedback, show this panel, no thanks. Close. So here's what it looks like. Your menu system at the top, typically. Let's run through that, nice and simple. Layers, adjustment layers, all down there. Pause if you want to look at any of this in further detail. There's your blurs, sharpens, distort, noise, and so on. Remember, pause, rewind if you want to check out any of this stuff. Now, to me, it looks similar to Photoshop, so not too far off. What we need to do is get a file in here. So as I'm on my MacBook here, plug in my hard drive and let's get a file on the go. While that's just setting up, notice over this side you've got a histogram, color, swatches, brushes. Of course, I don't have any of my brushes or anything that I do in Photoshop yet, because this is fresh install. Levels, white balance, hue, saturation, lightness, recolor, black and white. Know that that's going to give us some more information. And further down you've got actually a lot more options. Let's get a file. So let's get this file here, drag it in to Affinity and see what happens. Well, nothing. Open. Ah, there we go. It is. Let's get rid of this. So I'm used to going into Camera Raw and making my adjustments. So let's just have a quick look down and see what we're dealing with. Up here it tells you the information that it was shot in, size, megapixel, the camera, histogram. You can turn on the highlights, blinking highlights, although they're not blinking. See, turns red there. That's pretty handy. White balance, up and down here with the color temperature. I wonder if there's a way you can make your adjustments here, which is as it is, fair enough. Black points, blacks, whites, Clearly this is a very slow process for me because I've not used the software before. I know I've said that a billion times, but it's true. Takes a while, which is why we're doing this, to see what we can come up with. Let's pull the highlights down. Power, that's very interesting. Not sure what power means, but not bad. Let's see if we can get these highlights out a bit. Just trying to bring down that one in the middle, which is blown out a bit, or a lot, whatever. Clarity, well, we don't need a lot because hopefully the sharpening is gonna bring this. Overlays, lens corrections, detail refinement sounds interesting. I know that Camera Raw generally puts me on a bit of detail, and then I do the sharpening. So let's have a look. Curves. Yeah, I guess we can take a bit there and a bit up there and see what that does for us. I didn't do any layers here, obviously. I was that a little bit lazy, and I seem to have lost my sharpening functions. Let's have a look. Let's just bring this back down to a normal size. File, edit. It was up here before. Interesting little few icons there. There's your cropping. And I've lost it. File, no undo function, open recent. Let's open it again and see what happens. Sorry, this is probably dead boring, but at least you get to see what the software looks like. It's not particularly a review. If I try and do my previous key sets, well, let's have a look. It didn't save anything that we had before. I'm not sure this is going to be much use for you. Let's see if I can get the highlights back up. Let's bring that down a bit. Bring that contrast up a bit. Not too much exposure. Let's bring that up a tad. Let's bring that down a bit there. Shadows. That's alright. Power. Still don't know what power does, but it's quite interesting. Quite nice. I'm going to actually whack that right up. That's quite fun. Navigator. Okay, so you can zoom in and out there. EXIF information's there. Focus. Show AF regions. Doesn't work on this file. Let's have a look up here. We still don't have the sharpening. Commit. I hit commit, and it brought back a lot more options. And sharpening, unsharpen mask, radius. I've forgotten what I want now. Factor. So let's try a little extreme and see what looks before, after. Quite useful. Bit awkward if your image. I'd prefer it to be the other way. Maybe that can be changed, but that's pretty cool. Well, let's just apply it. Now we've seen what it does. And there it goes, applying. Paint. Let's have a look to see if we can find the options, the correction options. Right, in painting, blemish removal, patch. Let's try something else. Let's see what happens if we choose that. No right click option. Fair enough. How do we get rid of that then? Fair enough. Let's just choose the whole lot. So if you hit where there's an arrow, you can see the other options. In painting brush. What happens if I paint over that? In painting brush. That's what happened there. Not entirely sure what's going on there. What would happen if I in-paint this dude? Could this be their version of content aware? Do I still have any viewers left? Have you downloaded this beta yet? Please let me know what you think. Typically starting off with new software, everything takes time. Right, I've in-painted you. You're at the top taking your time, probably because this is a fairly slow machine on a fairly big file. And yeah, he's gone. He's a bit ghost-like, but that must be their content aware. Let's see if we can just improve that a little bit and see what happens. I think that's you, man. Doesn't let me do anything else while I'm doing the one bit. There you go. I wonder if we've got history. History, there it is. So if we go to before, there he was, and there he is after. If you want to see the first stage, it was like that. So, not too bad. Should we try a different file, in case that one's boring you senseless? Let's go with this file. What do we want to do? White balance? Let's rock that back and forth. There must be a way of choosing the tone. Choosing the white point samplers? No. White balance. There's got to be a way, but not to worry. They call it a percentage as well. You could do it by eye. Exposure. If double click on that navigator, it drops back down to the bottom. Exposure. Let's get the highlights going again, because I do like that. So you can pull them back. Whack a bit of that on. Not bad at all. Let's see what happens with a bit of a... so that's it. Develop, that sounds like the Lightroom thing. Yeah, it's a photography thing. So where is it? Commit. No, I'm not convinced that's what I wanted. How do I undo? I don't. Let's go history. I clearly have no history. Something very strange has happened. There seems to be two no, that's very confusing. Let's get rid of that previous file. Not sure what happened there. You probably do. Let's open that file again. Wait. Would you like to open that file again? I'm sure you would. We don't need that. Or that. Let's work out what's going on here. Should we see what these things do? Liquify persona. Oh, so you can, yeah, you can liquify. Clearly they think liquifying is going to be fun. Macros. Well, let's get a decent image up first, and then we can see what's happening. Navigator. Should we click these, see what's going on? Absolutely nothing. Let's close that file. We're not going to save it. Open recent. Right. Let's open that file again. Let's do this for the last time before I go and make a cup of tea, which I probably should have done before this video. There's Mr. Video. There's Mr. Picture. Let me get me So after those adjustments, hit commit. That sends it to develop. And that gives you the rest of your options back. Sharpen. It didn't save me previous's. And I'm not sure what factor I want it on yet. But just going to rock it back and forth and see what happens. Here's the history, if you want to see what happened there. Let's see if there's a straighten option. Not with that anyway. Right, let's take that off. Let's see what happens up here. Auto levels, auto contrast, probably auto color, and auto white balance. I'll take that auto white balance off for now. Select all, deselect, invert select, show masks. There's your screen tolerance options. Your snapping, that's very useful. And you've got a little icon here when I can get it back. Your assistant, that's what your assistant can do. Here you have alignments. That'll be useful for me when I want to add text. Here you have something or other which I haven't worked out. Colors, swatches, brushes, again as we went through. Channels, transform, and the black and white options. Furthermore, a liquify, text, shapes, pen, healing brush. Let's try that in. Let's try this again and see if we can get rid of the one chap. Sorry, Cesar, you're a legend, but whoops, for this experiment we're going to delete you. I clearly went a bit off track there, and it wasn't the happiest of decisions, as you can see. Let's get him back. Let's zoom in. And paint him. Right. And there he goes. So, to all intents and purposes, Rafa was on his own. So that's probably why he's putting his literature away. Or probably because he has to walk up this long path. A bit pointless that was. Let's see. That's open. That's... if we shrink it. Yeah, similar to Photoshop. Command 0 brings it to full size, although full size on this case doesn't go all the way. Nice. Let's see what save options there are. Save as raw. Let's stick it in here just in case it does something else. Save as raw. Fair enough. Let's see what it's ticking away at. Well, I don't know what happened there. If I press save as, it gives me that same option. If I press this, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's asking for a selection of something. Oh, here we go. Export options. So there's all your export options. Best quality. Layers. So that's that. Oh, let's save it then, if I must. Jing, jing, jing. Export selected. Let's export it into there. And exit out of that. And there you have it. Let's have a look at the info. Affinity document. It has its own document type for the raw file. Interesting. And that's the JPEG, which isn't too bad. Not too shabby. No sign of your man that was here before. In painting seems to work nicely. So that's that really. That's your lot. Let me know what you think. This is literally just a preview. Nothing too crazy. Nothing for you to get worked up about. And there's Affinity. Looks good. Looks capable. I need to play with it a lot more. I need to check out some of the quick shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts, etc., so I can get faster at it. For the first time, software looks good. Seems to do what I want. I don't need to go too crazy. So far, so good. Keep up the hard work, Affinity. Users out there, let us know what you think. If you've got any good links to this software, put them below. Links to how to use it, tips, etc. Let's go. Let's give this a chance, and let's show Adobe they need to catch up. Take it easy. Be good. Peace.